Guruve Gaura Chanjaya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Dhanyavad Pranam, devotees. So I am obviously trying to catch up. Oh, Tilak's mirror. I'm obviously trying to catch up with questions and answers. It has been a little bit, and there's been obviously some busyness in my seva and other things, getting prepared for travel, all these things. So I'm trying to select out questions that had some sense of urgency to them, or that I felt that I've needed to give some response to, and again to put into the public forum so that other devotees can chime in as well and to help elucidate points to help us all to grow in our sadhana. So the question that came in was from a group that's written in other questions. This is like a whole group of devotees, and I guess they get together and put questions together and they send them in. I got this one by messenger. A lot of times they've been sending them by email, and because I hadn't checked the email, I'm very glad they took the initiative to send it by messenger, because I was able to see it. So the gist of the question, again, there were several questions. I'm picking out the section about asking questions and about the real meaning of Guru Sadhu Sastra, as opposed to having faith in Guru's statements. That was the gist of like a question. That if one has faith in the statements of Guru, what is then the need for Guru Sadhu Sastra? Because everything that would be said in Guru Sadhu Sastra is also said by Guru. So why can't we just take the word of Guru and not have to vet by Guru Sadhu Sastra? Second question was about the nature of asking questions. They expressed that sometimes there's a little bit of intimidation or shyness around asking questions, because the questions may not be directly on the topic at hand, or in a mixed audience, meaning different levels of practitioners, the question may not be appropriate. So dealing with first the vetting by Guru, Sadhu and Sastra. So among the many statements by all of our acharyas has been that one should use the vetting process of Guru Sadhu Sastra. So it is not a dichotomy between whether I'm accepting the statements of Guru versus whether we're illuminating them, elucidating them in our consciousness, or vetting a statement we couldn't understand and reconciling something we couldn't understand by Guru, Sadhu and Sastra. Our Guru Vargas have given this method because there is sometimes a necessity for clarity. And for instance, if your Guru Pada Padma may have told one statement to yourself, maybe told in a different way, or even a different statement to another Vaishnava or to another God brother, God sister, then sometimes you need reconciliation. So here I'm going to kind of bring in the idea of relevant inquiry as well. If your Guru Pada Padma is still present, has not entered Samadhi, then obviously the first means of reconciliation would be to go and to directly ask Shri Guru, oh Shri Gurudev, you've mentioned this statement, and I've had some confusion, or I've had some not clarity about that statement. I'm trying to get clarification. So Gurudev may directly give answers. He may give the same answer given before. She may give the same answer given before, and may tell you to research it, look it up, go to this source or that source to understand it more clearly, right? So in that event, you're getting the direct instruction from Gurudev to go to Guru Sadhu and Sastra. But even if that's not the case, there is a standing order of our Guru Vargas that Guru Sadhu Sastra is a vetting process. And here, vetting doesn't mean that I have a doubt in the word of my Gurudev. It is the lacking on our part that we may not have digested, understood, something that was said by Guru Padma. Understand? And if Guru Padma has entered into Samadhi, all the more the need for Guru Sadhu and Sastra, because now we cannot go directly and, of course, internally, according to your maturation, so many things may happen, but externally, we cannot go and make that relevant inquiry to get clarification. So now, the vetting process of Guru Sadhu Sastra becomes paramount, because now we know that our Guru Vargas will not say something that is not in line with Guru Sadhu Sastra. Now, we saw this become a little bit of a problem when there were disagreements in any institution. The devotees who are writing, they belong to ISKCON society. I also belong, right? Because I don't see that they are separate societies. I see we're the family of Mahaprabhu, right? The family of Mahaprabhu, cousins, brothers, aunties, uncles, right? So I've never seen that mood. That, no, this is one side, this is another side, this is one institution, another institution. Different personalities, under the inspiration of their Gurudev, began preaching. And in preaching, they've organized a particular institution to assist in that preaching. That's all. There are not so many separate groupings and we're all at odds or something. That's just a energy of Kali creating a perception like that, so that there's not a sense of harmony, unity, or the ability to mutually share and grow together. So we should dismiss the idea that institutions are elements of division, and we should see that institutions are in fact variations of the inspiration coming from our Guru Vargas to spread the mission of Mahaprabhu. So, that being said, the devotees were asking that, well, what if there is an instruction from Guru? Would it be considered violation pretty much of the faith in Guru that one wants to vet what they've heard from Guru? So here, we'll exercise some caution. We should know, which was my last point, that what our Guru Padma has said will not be different from Guru Sadhu Sastra. So to find those things in Guru Sadhu and Sastra further illuminates Gurudev's either instruction, teaching, explanation, etc. It elucidates it. It makes it more clear, right? So, and it aligns the Kripa of Gurudev with the Kripa coming in Guru Parampara. And also, one false idea here is that there is a deeper sense of Guru Nishta or faith in Guru by not doing Guru Sadhu Sastra. Yet we see that our Gurudev, our Guru Padma, in our Guru Vargas, they've all written, this is the process. All have written. Our Srila Prabhupada went so far as to say that some false devotees consider it unadvisable to study the books of the previous acharyas. I'm paraphrasing that statement, but it's in Chaitanya Charitamrita. In another place, my godbrother Bhumipati Babu, he knows these places both very well. Perhaps I should have spoken to him first. But I can find out and put it in. In another place, our Srila Prabhupada stated that due to the lack of zeal to study the books of the previous acharyas, many misconceptions have arisen. So our Guru Vargas have all given much credence and much blood, sweat, and tears in even translating and manifesting the books of the previous acharyas in different languages just for that purpose. So there is not a sense of increased Guru Nishta by not studying the books of the previous acharyas, nor is there an absence of faith by reconciling, elucidating the words of Shri Guru by Guru Sadhu Sastra. You understand? Also, sometimes there's an idea that I've heard. This was many years ago. This was, I don't know if I was in LA Temple at that time or something. Anyway, I heard a discussion between two devotees, and it was along these lines about this, because, you know, at that time, many of the books were being translated there, and there were, I guess, excellent devotees under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada translating. And so there was some discussion about whether the thrust or gist of their understanding was coming from what they were reading to translate or from our Srila Prabhupada, right? And it wasn't a discussion with the persons involved, right? But it was a discussion among another group of devotees. Now, I was, you know, relatively young devotee at that time. I was just listening. And the discussion came up that, well, that's why it's a dangerous savor. That was it's such a dangerous savor because they may take things that are written there that our Srila Prabhupada has not said. But if they're working under the auspices of Srila Prabhupada and they're making continual inquiry from Srila Prabhupada, then chances of that happening should be slim to none, right? Of course, if anybody independently is looking at Sastra outside the purview of Guru Sadhu Sastra, that's a different thing. Outside the purview of the guidance of Shri Guru, that is a different subject altogether. So, my point here being that it should not feel a lack of faith in Guru that one also enhances their understanding from Guru Sadhu Sastra. Gurudev is very pleased with that. Gurudev is very pleased. Oh, so you've seen the writing of Shri Rupa Goswami Pad. You've seen the writing of Shri Jiva Goswami Pad. Or Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad, Baladev Vijayabhushan, etc. Oh, so you've heard. Now what you've understood. If your Gurudev is present, this discussion can go on. He can clarify even more. Yeah, so in here he's mentioning this or that. You understand? So the idea of being reluctant or negligent, our Srila Prabhupada has said, in taking zeal to study the books of the previous acharyas, to be in line with the order of Guru, one should do that. Right? This is Guru Agya. Guru Agya means the order of Guru. And we have clearly here in statements of Srila Prabhupada that one should study the books of the previous acharyas. So, that being said, we should not certainly think it's inconsistent with faith in Guru to do so. Nor should we think it is a kind of unique faith or more mature faith not to do it in the idea that, yes, what my Gurudev told is simply complete and I don't need to do that. Right? Now, and let me clarify that, because if someone has heard from their Guru Pada Padma and they have reconciled all Tattva Siddhant, everything, and they're moving forward progressively in their bhakti, fine. No harm. Right? But my point here being, don't declare that as a kind of unique faith or Nishtan Guru, and that others who don't follow that particular path, they have a lack of faith in Guru or something like that. So, we should see in that ideal that either way, the importance of Guru Sadhu Sastra has been mentioned by all of our Guru Varga, so therefore it's an important thing. As far as asking questions is concerned, the devotees wrote about shyness of asking certain questions in an audience of mixed level devotees. So here, that I think you can, two things. One, if the question is important to you for your unfoldment, and you don't have so many opportunities to be in the presence directly of your Guru Pada Padma, and that question is important to you, you should ask. Gurudev may reciprocate with you directly, even though the audience is a mixed audience in terms of adhikar. Gurudev will tell you what is appropriate for you. And Gurudev may say, I'm telling for so-and-so Prabhuji, so-and-so Mataji, this is for them. Some people, I know my Guru Pada Padma sometimes used to give lecture and say, what I'm speaking now is for certain of you. Some of you may not understand, you should put it in your file and as your adhikar develops, it will become clear. My Gurudev used to say many times like that. So if that question is very pertinent, very important, you should ask, because the opportunity to have the darshan and direct ability to inquire from Shri Guru is, maybe rare, right? So, other than that, if you have the opportunity for personal darshan, etc., you can wait and you can ask the question in that arena, and that way you don't have to worry about that. Relevancy of questions. Sometimes, because they mentioned in the writing that they have seen that sometimes Guru may say that question is not appropriate. So then we should take, just literally, Gurudev is seeing that in your adhikar, that question is not appropriate question. So it is not a dismissal, it is not a chastisement, it is a loving affection of Shri Guru that they are not wanting that your growth will be stunted or harmed by getting misconception from an answer they may give to a question that was not in your adhikar. Oh Shri Gurudev, when Radha and Krishna together in the Kunj, how are they touching? First of all, it's an experiential answer to that question, because you cannot understand the functions of praying unless you have some experience of praying. You can't understand how the praying is functioning. You can get an idea of the siddhant regarding the nature of Radha and Krishna and how praying goes through transformations. You can appreciate. But the experience, what happens, what will Guru Padma say? From what, and also more than that, even if Guru Padma can give something, right? Where will you file that to digest it in such a way that it makes sense to you when that experience has not been in your, that reality has not been in your experience? So then we'll conjecture, well, Radha and Krishna, they can see with their eyes, they can hear with their ears, so maybe the touching that we read about, if you read Gita Govinda or something, or they're touching with the ear, so then it goes down a trap, right? Because that's a true statement, Yasya Sakalindriya Vittimanti, right? And Brahma Samhita mentioned Krishna can see with his eyes, etc., etc. Can see, each sense can interact as the other senses, right? So that statement is true. But if you try to then contextually put it into answering this question, it could turn into a great deal of conjecture. Better to understand that that is something that will become a realization in adhikar when that level is reached. On the other hand, right, I'm giving the opposite end of the spectrum. Sometimes it's that if someone is doing the function, and this is where the lack of Guru Abhiman is very important. Anyone ask a question, oh Gurudev, I've read such and such and such and such. Gurudev, if they are not yet reached their own perfection, but they are doing the function of Guru, because I mentioned before in one tape on Guru Tattva, that in the absence of any sane Pati Bhakta, who may be fully realized devotee, right? And then everybody can go there. Even those who've been performing the function of giving initiations, they will take their disciples also go, and everybody will be nourished. So in the absence of Guru Abhiman, this is very much the way to go. But sometimes if there's Guru Abhiman, Gurudev will either dismiss your question because they can't answer, and that's problematic, or they will try to give also some conjectured answer. So none of those things are auspicious. So that is, I'm speaking in such a way that it should be understood that those persons, if they're performing the function of Guru, but you have not become fully realized or fully siddha yet, but Sastra Yukti Suni Punya Jurishara Yandra, Uttamarikari Se Taraya Sansara, Ato Rup Goswami is written that if a person has developed Sastra Yukti Suni Punya, they have developed firm faith on the basis of understanding Sastra and the logic of Sastra, they can also help deliver others from the cycle of samsara because they have uttamadikar and eligibility of the practice of sadhana bhakti. You understand? If they have no Guru Abhiman and no pride, then they will not obfuscate the purity of the appearance of sane bhakti or high class of realized devotees when they are available. You understand? And the honesty will also be there. Oh, I have not seen or read here. I can research and find for you. I will ask any senior person. And honesty. You understand? Not attachment to the idea that I should know everything. Right? I don't know. I'll ask to any senior God brother, God sister, or senior Vaishnava this question, or we'll go together and both get answered. So this is the way that should be done. But it should not make you shy to ask the question. Because, also, let me give a caveat here. That relevant inquiry also means not just what's within your adhikar, but also sometimes a kind of need to be seen energy may come in the course of being in the presence of Sri Gurudev. So I will find something to say so that I'll get noticed. Right? So we should try to avoid. Many times in the presence of my Guru Padma, I didn't want to just raise any question. First of all, many times by listening closely to Srila Gurudev's answers to other questions, the answer would come naturally. Right? Also, if I've already kind of understood the answer, to simply ask the question so that I can acknowledge that I know the answer is another form of trying to enjoy the presence of Sri Gurudev. If Sri Gurudev will ask a question to you, oh Prabhu, oh Didi, oh Mataji, what is the meaning of this? That time, what has come into your patra from Sri Gurudev, then you can offer back to the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev. But not to be too excited to generate a question that now you can come up and you can start giving answers to. Because it's simply another way of trying to enjoy Sri Guru. But if there's a genuine question, adhikar appropriate, then you should by all means ask, because that way the adhikar grows. You understand? Also, you should, as we mentioned earlier, utilize your time to study from what Sri Guru Padma has told. He's not speaking not from Guru Sadhu Sastra. You should use your time also in Swadhyay. Swadhyay means your self-study. And you should look in the writings of Guru Sadhu and Sastra. And then many times, I know my experience, many times by study, then I'll hear Gurudev say it in a lecture or repeat it, and it just illuminates everything that much more. Something Gurudev has said in the past, and then I'll see it in the writings of the Acharyas, right? Just, I'm telling one story. Once, I had heard Guru Padma mention that the nature of the color of Braj, the green color of Braj, is the combination of the Sham Varna and the Gora Varna of Radhika combining. When you put blue and gold together, it creates green. And Gurudev said that. But I could not remember where he said it, what place it was, what lecture, right? Because we were doing a Harikatha. And so anytime I would do Harikatha, I wanted to speak something of this, but I could not confirm or remember exactly when Gurudev had said it, and I never want to say anything that I've not directly heard from Sri Guru or directly read from the Acharyas. Right? So I always was shy. I wanted to say this katha, but couldn't. We were at a home program once of one god brother, and some other god brothers had just returned from India. And one god brother, actually like God Uncle, he's a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, he was speaking, said, oh, I heard the most amazing thing from Srila Gurudev while we were in Braj on Parikram this time. Gurudev told, and he told that exact thing. So now I felt so much comfort in my heart that I could repeat it if I'm doing Harikatha. Then I was reading the commentary of the Acharyas, right? And in one of the commentaries that was mentioned, I think it's in the description of Vrindavan, it may be mentioned there in one commentary, right? So then I tried to either write it down or take a picture of it or something. I forgot what I did, but I put it in my notes, and then I couldn't find it, right? But at least I've seen in the commentary, directly heard myself, and then had a reaffirmation from a god brother who heard Srila Gurudev repeat it. You understand? So like this, if there's honesty, then Sri Guru will not say something. One of my godbrothers is so learned godbrother. And I've heard him directly say, okay, I will check that and I will get back to you. And I have so much regard for this godbrother because he's so sastravid, also very rasik, right? Very humble, everything. But he told once, I think he was given Harikata in Miami, and once Inyasi asked the question, he told, listen, I think like this, I remember something like this, but I'm not sure. But I will research it and get back to you, because, and I'm paraphrasing, because he said, believe, if I tell you something, I've seen it in Sastra. So, you know, that's why sometime I have a question, also I will ask to him. Right? Because very honest, very true, very down to earth. Right? And also always hearing from high class of Vaishnavas. Right? So I've also heard from high class of Vaishnavas via his Kripa, right? Because he brings these Vaishnavas into the purview of everyone. He records them and everything else. So very, very sweet, you know. So I have very great affection for him, actually. So anyway, but the point being, yes, if you have genuine, relevant inquiry, then you can ask to your Guru Padma. And if Guru Padma says, this is not in your adhikar, then do not be offended or, oh, I'm hurt or pained, because that means Gurudev is taking your welfare at heart. If he will explain something or she will explain something and you miscalculate it, then you could corrupt your further understanding of that thing and it will create some problems in the future. Right? Bhaktivinoda Thakur Bhajan Hasyato Arikarana Labhyate Siddha Bhave. Right? In this shlok he's saying, if you don't have praparika, viparya will take. Viparya means corruption will take place in your understanding. Right? So we don't want that. We want our understanding should grow in genuine increments. Right? And then any epiphany will come in the heart genuinely. And in that way we can substantively step one step to another and be very comfortable in our understanding and so forth. Understand? Last thing is, I'm paraphrasing again because now I can't remember directly what they wrote. It was to the effect that, I did mention it earlier, sometimes any godbrother and godsister or two godbrothers, two godsisters may hear something from Srila Gurudev that seems to be contradictory. So does it mean Srila Gurudev is playing tricks? Does it mean Gurudev lied to one and not the other? No. Again, Srila Gurudev may speak according to the adhikar of that particular disciple and give another indication for the adhikar of another disciple. That's one vision. Secondly, the disciples may have heard that thing differently, especially when it comes to translating, especially Sanskrit concepts into English language and using English parlance. A lot of times things can get really confusing. Right? We had just recently a very huge thing all around the Swarupa of the Jiva and all these different kinds of things, and a lot of it centered around the understanding of the parlance. What is constitution or constitutional position? What is latent, dormant, or etc.? You understand? So it is so important that either a follow-up to ask Srila Gurudev for clarification is there, or in Guru Sadhu Sastra, finding the theme of that siddhant, and knowing that Guru Padma will not say something different from what is the line of conception of our Guru Vargas, then you can reconcile. You understand? Then you can reconcile. Just like it was not a good experience, but some devotees, of course, heard our Srila Prabhupada mention that we were all originally Krishna conscious. So by common parlance, original means I was with Krishna originally. And something happened. And so that leads to several conjectures about how it's possible to fall out of a loving relationship with Krishna in the spiritual world to the material world, which is just nowhere in our Guru Vargas has that been stated. Nowhere in Sastra has that been stated. Our Srila Prabhupada also would not state something not mentioned in Sadhu Sastra. Now, here's another interesting fact though. If any disciple heard that, and even by miscalculation, thought, oh yes, I somehow misused my independence, I was with Krishna, I did something wrong, and I fell to the material world. If it is a personal understanding and one does sudden bhajan to make advancement, it will be clear that in the unfoldment in their bhajan, this point will be clarified. So we don't have to disturb people with a whole argument about it. No, impossible to fall, you're all in my... None of that. Now, however, if that person wants to promote that as the Siddhanta coming from Srila Prabhupada, in spite of Srila Prabhupada making statements to the exact opposite, in 7th Canto, I think chapter 1, text 35, he's directly stating, because perhaps the buildup of that misconception was growing, so he clarified in the 7th Canto, chapter 1, text 35, it should be concluded that if one has something to do for the Lord, they come here. Other than that, it should be concluded no one falls from Vaikuntha. Again, I paraphrased it, but you can look in that purport and see that. So, obviously, if you look at the statements of all the previous acharyas, you can see that it's not possible to break a relationship with Krishna and fall to the material world. If you look in Sandarbhas, clearly Rupa Goswami has explained what is praying. Savata Dongsaraitam Yarapi Dongsakarane. That praying cannot be broken under any circumstances. Even Yad Api Dongsakarane. It won't be broken even if there was a cause for it to break. Yad Bhava Bandhano, it makes it stronger. So causes that would break a relationship in the spiritual paradigm strengthen it. You understand? So there's no possibility of a relationship with Krishna being broken once it is established. You understand? But by hearing the word original, it gives rise to an idea. Somehow it was originally with Krishna. But here, it's an ontological statement. So let me make it clear. It is an ontological statement to point out the constitutional nature of the jiva's relationship with Krishna. Dasa bhuti harieva nanyasheva karachana. This is written in Padma Puran and quoted also in Premera Ratnavali of Sri Baladevi Vijabhushan. The jiva is dasa bhuti harieva, certainly the servant of Krishna, and cannot be something else. So by constitution, we are like that. Therefore, the statement that we are all originally Krishna conscious refers to the point that in our actual nature, originally, this is our makeup. You understand? Now, we have never experienced our original makeup because our conditioning is from anadika. Anadiya vidya yuktasya purusha shavedatmana. Right? From time without any beginning, the jiva has been yukta to avidya, connected to avidya or ignorant from time without any beginning. But, Jiva Goswami Pada said, the word anadi means something that has no beginning, but it does have an end. So your status of being conditioned, etc., our status of being in the material cycle of samsara will come to an end at some point. When? Brahmana Brahmati Kon Bhagwan Jeev. If the jiva will become very fortunate, Guru Krishna Prasad, and get the mercy of Sri Guru, who is the independent representation, Paramasvatantra Bhagavad Bhakta, the independent manifestation of Bhagavan's mercy, Bhakti Latta Bij. They will get the seed of bhakti. What is that seed? Sava Sangamena Ratnyankar Rupa Eva Mati. Mati means everybody's had this idea. At some point in your life, you ask the question, what is this? Who am I really? I can't just be this body. That thing is called Mati. Sanatana Goswami, he demonstrated that in relation to Mahaprabhu. He asked the question, Kayami, Keniyamai, Jari Tapatrai. Who am I and why am I suffering? Then Mahaprabhu gives the synopsis answer, Jivera Swapoya Krishna Nityadas, Jivera Tatashta Shakti Beda Be Prakash. So you are by constitution the servant of Krishna, and the reason you're suffering is because you have Tatashta Swabhav, means the nature of being marginal, which means you have the ability to be influenced by the avidya Shakti or the inferior energy of Bhagavan. And coming under that inferior energy, you have experienced the nature of identification with the body based on that ignorance, which produces asmita, right? Rag, dvesh, and abhinivesh. Because of that, you've identified with the body, and inherent in the material energy is the dualities of happiness and distress. But in the Atma itself, it is dukkha pratyogika. Means, Jiva Goswami Pada is written there, it is the very antithesis of misery. There's no misery in the Atma itself. So I've explained this many times in other videos. I'm not going to go into that here. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful to answer the questions for those devotees. It doesn't specify who in the group is asking, so I guess he's just collecting the questions and asking as a group, which is good. And personal question, I have not really put in the travel plans yet the Midwest. I am going to Texas. I know that much. If I'm going, well, I shouldn't have said Midwest because it's on the other side of Texas. And that's always the big thing, is getting across Texas, right? If the ability is there, then I will try to come there, to your place. Because I do want to visit one other place, which is not far, in Kansas. So I may come also there, if it becomes possible. The first travel is in the East Coast, yes, and then when we come back, we'll have to assess from there. But by the grace of Guru and Gauranga, I did get a van. So finally have a van, right? I'm still trying to fix it for travel. That's the process right now. Once we get it kind of situated for travel, that will definitely make it easier, right? So hopefully we'll see. So hopefully I will get there. I would like to see all of you as well. All right, Dandavat Pranam. Vanche kalpa turubhischa kripa sindhuvevacha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Radhe Radhe.